And we're live. Welcome, everyone. Today, we have the pleasure of having His Excellency Ambassador Terry Earthwind Nichols. But before introducing Terry, I just want to say Happy New Year to everyone because yesterday it was Persian New Year, 21st of March, the spring equinox in the Northern Hemisphere, and Persian New Year, what we call Nowruz. It's celebrated across the world from Albania to Eastern China by various cultures. So welcome, Terry. So His Excellency Ambassador Terry Earthwind Nicholas is a United Nations Peace Ambassador, a business strategist, an author, a global thought leader, and this is very important. One of top 50 global marketing influencers. You can check his work out on LinkedIn. Welcome, Terry.
Thank you, Arash. I'm very happy to be here.
Great, great. Thank you. So to start with, Terry, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and the work that you've been doing?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. As you can tell, there's a flag, American flag behind me. I am a retired Navy man. That was great fun. 20 years of seeing the world, and I saw the world and had a good time. And my story starts out, I was born in to believe that I was a fourth generation Irish American white boy. At the age of 46, I found out I was a Native American. And so I got in touch with my roots, so to speak, the tribe that is here in America. And they gave me the name of Gado Onule, which is Earthwind, his breath across the earth, because my journey has a lot to do with UN peacekeeping, peace on earth. And so my name is to honor me no matter where I go on the earth wind will take me. So that's kind of interesting, particularly now later on in life when I'm running a global company and doing a lot of different things and internationally speaking, 8 books, we'll go into that. Terry Nichols, there's about 17,000 Terry Nichols in North America alone. So one Terry Earthwind Nichols in the world. So it's an incredible brand. Some people ask us when I'm on interviews, how do people get a hold of you? I say, go to Google or Bing or wherever and find my name, Terry Earthwind Nichols. You'll find me, social media, all my companies, everything. Makes it much easier. So my upbringing and my now travels have changed abruptly, Arash.
Great, great. I'd love to hear that story. It's really good. Now the topic of conversation today is about your new book called Consortium, and
Just happen to
specifically,
have one.
yeah, perfect. So if you could tell us a little bit about the book, that would be great, and what does it cover. But then later on, it would be great if we could have an HR angle to the book and look how it's valuable for
Yeah.
people and culture departments in organizations.
Yes. Well, back in 2018, I started looking at a new business model, a new way of doing things. And late 2019, I started really putting together the theory around Consortium and the new business model. And then when the lockdowns came in March of 2020, became very apparent. Its age had come. It was an amazing awakening. And we started working on the book. My help and I started working on the book, and there it is right here, Consortium, available on Amazon worldwide. And it's a very quick read. It brings out it does away with goals and timelines, and it's achievement based. Now, HR goals and timelines kind of work inside of that. But what if you were to take away sales goals as part of the goals for your company and started using achievement milestones to create bonuses, eligibility for hire or for promotions, all those kinds of things. And so the book also covers that, and that's how Arash and I started having a conversation, is how keen it is and its versatility within a corporate environment, right down to a mom and pop operation. So it's really, really quite interesting.
Great, great to know. So, can you tell us a bit about what's wrong with goals? Why shouldn't we have goals?
I've never liked them. And so I've always
I
had,
never liked them either.
well, it's very easy to miss a goal. It's pressure.
Mhm.
Um, you know, honest people turn into dishonest people to make, to change things, to make their goals, because it's this timeline and this goal stuff. Um, it, it's not a good thing, and people miss more than they hit. It's very strenuous. It's easy to burn out. People quit.
Mhm.
People get fired. So from an HR angle, we're looking at new milestones to create an environment of the company being a community, far more than a schematic or KPI related organization, where community is not normally the case. There's in divisions maybe, but that's really it. It's very difficult for a global corporation with 300,000 people to make a community. Under this model, they can make a community. In fact, it does create a community.
Mhm.
So
Great.
that's interesting. Yeah.
So, what is like? How can we use achievement measures to replace goals? What does an achievement measure look like?
Well, let's start with how all of you that are listening right now and will listen to the recording, when was the last time you achieved something? How did that make you feel? How eager were you to repeat that feeling and a new achievement? Pretty exciting. Pretty drives you. Now think about being in a group, a branch office of a banking system or whatever, and all of you are achieving, and you're all in the success of it. You're all in the next steps to achieve the next level. And what you have out on the horizon is not, we're going to hit this KPI, we're going to hit this revenue goal. Those are taken away. But out there, there's a sunshine. Out on the horizon, there's a vision that everyone in the company, from the chairman of the board to the person sweeping the floors, believes in. And they're all striving together to achieve that vision. And now there's some stops along the way that must be achieved. So here's some good ones. On your way to grandmother's house, or if you're going on a trip, you got to stop for gas. You don't know when, but you know you have to.
Mhm.
There's food stops. There's different things along the way. And while you're there, if you're stopping for gas, you're probably going to get some food, get some people to the restroom, do those kinds of things. So those are achievements. So you don't look at, I got to get gas some minutes from now. You just go, okay, we're getting close to gas. So we'll stop and we'll do some things while we're there. And then we'll all get back in the car happy and ready to go again. Well, that's what this model creates. Now, let's say between the gas station and grandmother's house, a storm comes through. All of a sudden, there's an accident, a traffic accident where things have stopped. You know that it's going to take a little more time to get to grandmother's house, but you're still going to get there. So what can you do while you're sitting in traffic to keep everybody busy and happy? So you switch the mindset from, oh no, now we're going to be late, we're going to be this, we're going to be that, to, okay, we have some time, everybody. Let's pull out a game. Let's do whatever game. All right. Let's stay happy, because while we're all happy, nobody's crying, nobody wants to get out of the car, none of those types of things. Now, in a company setting, when the next pandemic hits, and it's going to happen, there's going to be more. Okay.
Yeah.
Science, everybody believes it. I believe it. And the next pandemic hits. Okay. So now we're a little wiser. We know how to close our shops a little faster, make everybody safe. But now instead of closing shops, closing divisions, sending people home with no money and those kinds of things, we as a community get together in our groups, however they're put together. Bank branch is great. All the bank branch people get together on over Zoom or whatever. Okay, guys, we weren't doing too well before the pandemic hit. So, what can we now do to create more revenue or more customers so that when we open up again, we're
Mhm.
better serving our community? And as a result, as a thank you, we keep our jobs. Our place
Mhm.
won't get closed. Okay. Corporations spend trillions of dollars getting people into places, training them, doing all the stuff to get them there. Then they close a
Mhm.
division, throw that money away. Well, now you don't
Mhm.
have to. So let's
Yes.
use the bank again. Next one, instead of closing the branch, maybe you get everybody in there, you get the distancing down, and you do some online training to become a mortgage services place. People are losing
Mhm.
their homes. Let's see what we can do to help you. Now you're community based and you're people centric as opposed to the general guidelines. So those are the key factors in achievement. And here's something, ladies and gentlemen, that we have found consistently. I personally have found when people are achieving regularly, not overachievers. Overachievers have a mindset problem that we won't deal with here today. But when people are achieving regularly and they're in a place they love to come to work, guess what they do? They come to work. They don't stay home. They want to be in the action. So people
Mhm.
come to the office. Now, here's another thing that's key to everybody, even HR, and that is this: people are achieving ready are happy. They don't get sick. They don't
Yeah.
burn out. And here's the key factor: HR slows down your recruiters. They don't leave the company. They're not going to leave this cool place to work. Okay,
Yes.
so those are very significant pieces of the achievement part of the new business model going forward.
That was brilliant, brilliant. Reminded me that bank example reminded me of something one of my colleagues told me, which goes on the lines of, well, if you focus on the money, your customers will become unhappy. But if you focus on the customer happiness, then you're gonna make a lot of money. So when you
Yeah,
focus on people, the numbers are gonna rise anyway.
exactly, exactly. Sir Richard Branson has it correct, and he has for
Mm.
30 years. Take care of your employees, they'll take care of your customers. His
Absolutely.
employees are very happy people, okay? And they produce with the idea that they are contributing to the success of the whole. Okay, they have created a community, and that's a big organization. Virgin Group is a big
Yeah,
place. All
yeah,
right. And the
absolutely.
consistency of that is when Richard Branson walks into some place, most of the time you don't know he's there unless you see him. There's no announcement that he's coming in and the balloons and doing all those kinds of things. He comes in, walk up and shake your hand. How you doing? How's things going here? Anything I can do for you? And he means it.
Yes,
He means it.
that's important. It's not
Yeah,
it's not just a show, right? That's super important.
exactly right. Exactly right. He's on my list of people to meet.
Top 10.
Almost got a chance to meet him once at a major event, but for some reason they scooted him out the side stage and he didn't stay. But
Yeah.
that happens.
Yeah, same. Hopefully you get to meet him soon. That's great.
Yeah, never
So
know.
you never know. So I've been thinking with your model consortium, how would it look like if we apply it to annual performance management? Say, currently a lot of companies what they do is there's this annual performance management, which is a bit strenuous, and people usually don't like it because they have to put in goals, and the goals are not going to be relevant because especially things change. 1 year is a very long time, so they come up with these generic goals. It becomes this tick the box model, and then later, when we go through the process, it becomes demotivating because you think you've done a lot of good work, but maybe you didn't hit the goal, or maybe you hit it, but it's not as valuable. And then your bonuses are usually tied to it, so it's usually, I would say, more disadvantages than advantages to the performance management system. But
Sure.
I can feel that your model fits nicely to this and could be an alternative to this. What do you think?
Yes, I agree. And here's key to that. Um, First things first. If you have goals and timelines out there, and you have a happy achieving group, they're blowing those goals and timelines away. Okay. So if the community, each group, are exceeding revenue or expense savings or whatever it is that they're tied into, okay, healthy people don't get sick. So, I mean, expenses for insurance and safety and all those kinds of things go down too. So, what do you do with that money? Quarterly bonuses, you hit your achievement milestone. Somebody from the head office walks in, starts passing out checks personally. How would you like to be in a bank like, I don't know, Deutsche Bank? All right. And the chairman of Deutsche Bank came into your bank branch who just hit a big achievement milestone and personally gave you each your bonus check.
Mm-hmm. That'd be
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's
uh,
more of a team incentive rather than individual incentive,
yeah.
right?
Well, yeah. You're all in it together. You're a family, you're a group, you're a community. The boss is not doing unnice things to somebody so that he looks or she looks better for promotion. The
Mm-hmm.
achievements are the promotions. That
Mm-hmm.
person who's driving, who's happy to come to work,
Mm-hmm.
they'll get their promotions. They'll move ahead. And when people, here's another thing for training and the training part before you get down to the EBIT line, earnings before interest and taxation, is training costs. A lot of times under the current model, you spend billions training your middle and upper managers on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
They come back from training. The boss calls them in and say, "Hey, how's it going? You've been missed. You have this, and this to do by noon. I don't care what you do. I hope you had a good time at training. Now let's get work."
Mm-hmm.
Right? You just blew the whole training. And
Yes.
you've demoralized the person who just got jacked up about something that could be incredible for the office.
Yes.
Now flip that. Okay. All right, Terry, I can't wait to hear what you got going. Now you got a few things going on back there, but I've got ABC people working on them so that you and I can spend some time today and you can talk me through this and how you're going to make suggestions for us as our team to work better. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. Let's do it. Now, what is that guy or gal who just came back from training going to do? Yeah, boss, this is going to be fabulous. You're just not going to believe what I learned. And actually learn it and do it. Whereas, the opposite is unfortunately the case now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to change that.
So, last question. If I remember correctly, and I may get this wrong, you had in your book an example of a goal versus an achievement for sales team. Am I right? Or
I'm sorry.
did you in your book did you have an example of a goal versus an achievement for a sales team? Or did I get it right, or was it there?
Right. The example
What was
would
that? Yeah.
be current model. Okay. You have these expectations of doing these metrics. Okay. So much in volume in sales, units per hour, setting new safety record for hours of continuous hours without lost time, whatever those goals are. People tend to sweat those and really worry over them and get very unhealthy with them and figure out how to ways to manipulate them. Whereas achievement flips that. Everybody's so excited about doing their work and doing the next achievable thing.
Mm-hmm.
The need for those same metrics go away because let's say your goal for this year is to have a 10% increase in gross revenue. Okay. So what happens is you do everything you can do and you hit 8.5%, you can't get to 10. Well, you start looking at different ways to still save your bonus in other ways. Okay. And unfortunately, those are bad things usually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if everybody's achieving, they're doing and achieving much more than the system is already set up to monitor.
So
So
what
instead of
would be
making
an
10%, you're probably doing 14 to 15%, and
so what would be
everybody shares in it.
what would be an example of achievements in this scenario? Instead of 10% revenue increase, what could be the achievements?
Achievement base, well, in a manufacturing facility, everybody's doing their job, they're focused, they're healthy, and they're happy. Okay. They don't make stupid mistakes. Okay.
Mhm.
Because everything on the home front is going well. They're on schedule for their pay. They're happy to be there. The safety record, their safety hours just skyrocket. Okay. Um, Everybody is fully present with their job in the manufacturing setting because they're happy to be there. They're watching to make sure everybody's safe, including themselves. Okay.
Yes.
Current model, they're watching themselves. Okay. Am I
Yes.
all right? How am I going to make the car payment next week? Oh God, I just don't know. And you do something wrong. However, if
Yep.
you're happy and therefore happy is also at home, it's not how am I going to make the car payment next week? I made it a week early.
Yes.
This is great. Oh, hey, boss, I got a different way of running this product through this portion of the deal. Could
Mhm.
save us a ton of money. I'd like to write that up. Is it okay? Oh, sure, man. Go for it. Now, here's the key that I say in the book. What happens if that happy person writes up a change in the production line of a widget and it saves the production, it drops the production cost by 5%, 10%.
Mhm.
And those widgets are responsible for that savings, rather, is responsible for 700, couple $1 million.
Mhm.
How about
That's
that person that
innovation,
was on
right?
there who wrote that up get a check for 1% of that savings?
Yeah. Wow.
100%, 1% of $1 million. Now, take it one step further. Chairman of the board comes down from the ivory tower, walks out onto the floor, brings everybody on the floor for a minute, stop the production line, come over here. Paul, come here. You saved us a couple $1 million. And here is a check, my friend. I am proud to give you for $90,000. Now, that kid
Mhm.
who's wondering how to take vacation next year because he's still, he's got 3 or 4 kids at home. There's a lot of issues. Now, all of a sudden, he has no debt and vacation next year.
Mhm.
What's everybody else in that factory going to do from that point on? Pay attention. I think I can do that. All
Mhm.
right. That's key. That's key.
Yes. Great example. It was such a lovely conversation, Terry, and I learned quite a lot. Um, so, any final words before we finish up?
There's a new paradigm shift coming, ladies and gentlemen. One that's fun and takes care of you, the person, the people on the floor. Okay. And it's pretty exciting because the people up in the board of directors offices as well are going to be just as happy because everybody makes money and the community is a better place to be too because there's a collaboration between people in the community as opposed to competition, which is powerful. Thanks for having me, Arash. This has just been fabulous.
Thank you so much, Terry. So today we had His Excellency Ambassador Terry Earthwind Nicholas, and I hope you enjoyed the show, everyone. Thank you and bye.